Liv and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got my scrunchie and I have the next best thing to a Hydro Flask. It's a reusable water bottle, but we'll just go with it because today I am doing my TBR for the VSCO Girls Readathon. If you don't know, the VSCO Girls Readathon is a series of, I believe, 9 books, which all have to do with like different aspects of being a VSCO girl. I thought this sounded so fun, so I definitely wanted to do it, especially as my first TBR of January. Great way to kick off this next year of reading. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. Okay, so the first one on the list here is the Hydro Flask, which is a hard-hitting contemporary or a book that is 400 plus pages. And we're starting off ambitious on this one because I have picked The Toll by Neil Shusterman. If you guys don't know, I have absolutely loved this series lately. This is the 3rd book in the Scythe trilogy. I read the first book back in November, sped through the 2nd book in December, and it was honestly maybe like the top book that I read in 2019. So I have really, really high hopes for this and how Cedra and Rowan complete their trilogy, their arc of a scythe, if you will. So I'm so excited to finally get into this, and I know it's just going to be amazing. Okay, next up is the Scrunchie, which is a book with a gorgeous cover, and for that I chose The Isle of the Lost by Melissa De La Cruz. This is the first book in the 4 books that coincide with the Disney Descendants trilogy. I have really been into the Descendants movies lately, and I finally wanted to read the books, and so I figured this was the perfect opportunity to begin doing so. I mean, look at this cover. I mean, it's so pretty. Like, the font of the words is gorgeous. I love the apple, even though that's like it's the basic Descendants logo, but I think it's absolutely beautiful. So this was an obvious choice for me. If you don't know, these books follow the descendants of Disney characters. In particular, it really follows and focuses on the villains. So the daughter of Maleficent, the daughter of the evil queen, the son of Cruella de Vil, and the son of Jafar. And they all have to work together to steal this object that is going to help them get off the Isle of the Lost, which is where all of the villains were banished to after the end of the fairy tales. I love this so much, and I'm so excited to finally read these books because I know I am just going to devour them. And the next one on the list is Oversized TShirts, which is a book that is out of your comfort zone, and I feel like you're all going to laugh at me because I have mentioned this book on my channel a million times, but it is Circe by Madeline Miller, which follows the Greek mythology tale of Circe and her island. I have had this in like 4 TBR videos by now, but I'm finally gonna do it. I think I'm just cursed. I know, like, Jesse the Reader always talks about how he's cursed and can't read The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, which, by the way, that's a great book if you haven't read it. But I feel cursed in that I have said over and over that I'm going to read this book and I just haven't yet. And I think that kind of really is because it is out of my comfort zone. I have never, like, when I read like fantasy, I exclusively stick to YA fantasy, and so I think this is really out of my comfort zone, being like an adult fiction book. And I've never read a Greek mythology retelling that was not Percy Jackson. So I think this is definitely out of my comfort zone, so I think this is going to be a great one. And mark my words, I will finally break this curse and I will finally read this book. And this next one had to be on this list, which is VSCO. Of course, it's VSCO Girls Readathon. So it is a book loved by one of your faves, and for this I went with Keeper of the Lost Cities Exile by Shannon Messenger. I know Reagan over at Peruse Project absolutely loves these books, and I really enjoy her videos, and I trust her reading taste. I find them very similar to mine, so I know this is going to be something that I really like. This is actually the 2nd book. I read the 1st book in about 2 days a few months ago. Loved it. This is a middle grade series following Sophie, who is like this kid genius. She was only like 12, I want to say, but she was in college, if not finishing high school, I want to say. I don't quite remember the details, but she's really smart, and she discovers that it's because she's an elf. So she has these abilities she didn't know she had. She goes to all these different worlds with her new friends. She's in this new school, and there's this corporation that's been trying to track her down, and it's a lot of fun. I love all the characters in these books, and I'm really excited to continue the series and see where it goes. I really like Sophie and her gang of friends like Fitz and Biana, and oh, it's so fun. It's a journey that I'm really enjoying, and I think I've kind of been taking my time with this, but I finally think it's time to read book 2, stop saving it for a time where I'm gonna enjoy it and just finally enjoy it. So this is a high priority on this list. Next up, you're all gonna hate me for how I say this, but it is the and it is just pick a random book from your shelves. So I chose A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Olivia, if you're watching this, yes, I am finally reading this. This book is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast following our main character Feyre, and she is hunting in the woods one day when she kills a wolf who turns out to be a member of the Fae. And the price to pay for killing a Fae is death, and a beast shows up at their house demanding recompense and demanding that he kill someone in return for his friend being killed. And so in exchange, Feyre gives her life and goes with him to the land of the Fae to live out the rest of her days. I've read the first 80 pages of this a long time ago. I really don't remember much, so I'm gonna have to start again, but I really enjoyed it, and I don't know why I haven't read this yet. If you guys don't know, Throne of Glass is my favorite book of all time. Sarah J. Maas is one of my favorite authors, so I know I'm really gonna enjoy these. And so it is high time that this finally gets read. And then I hear so much hype surrounding this book, and I feel like I'm scared I'm gonna be disappointed, even though there's really no reason I should be. So I finally want to know what the hype is all about, and gonna give this a read. Next up here we have Polaroid, which is a non-fiction or a nostalgic book, and I am reading Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I have been having like an on and off like reread of Harry Potter, and I finally bought an illustrated edition. Oh my gosh, this is so heavy. I've never owned one of these before, but I see them all over, and I would just go and like flip through them, but I never actually owned one for myself, and I finally treated myself to this one with some of my Christmas money. And so I know I'm going to enjoy this. Prisoner of Azkaban is actually my favorite book of the series, so of course, I flipped to a page with no illustrations. That's how this video is going. Here is a lovely picture of Parvati she's casting the Ridiculous Charm for the Dementors, and this art style, Jim Kay is wonderful. And so I'm really excited to dive into this one, see all the illustrations, revisit this world that I love, this book that I am so in love with. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this one. I can already tell. Next up is Mario Badescu, which is a book that is overhyped, and I feel like this might be a popular option for the readathon this year, but it is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This book follows a witch named Louise LeBlanc, and she is somehow forced into a marriage with a witch hunter, and so it kind of follows their struggles. And that's really all I know about this. I've heard so many mixed reviews about this book. I feel like people either really love it or it just really wasn't their thing, but it sounds right up my alley. I love like the enemies to lovers trope. I'm intrigued to see what happens that they need to get married. So I'm finally going to make my way through this. I have owned this for a very long time, and so it's finally I feel like this readathon is mostly just about getting some books off my shelves that I've had on there for a long time. That was kind of my thought process going into this, was books that I really need to like get off my TBR shelf, finally get read, and this was up there. It was up there. Next up is Puka Shell Necklace, which is a book that you buddy read with a friend, and so I am reading The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White, which I am currently reading with a bunch of lovely people over on Twitter. If you still need a book to buddy read, just send me a tweet, let me know, and we will get you into the group chat. But this is a book following, I am so confused when it comes to really what this is about, but it's something about this girl goes to Camelot posing as Guinevere, and she marries King Arthur, but the real cause behind it is she's trying to protect him, I guess, but from what is the real question? I am about 30 pages into this, I want to say, and it's okay so far. It starts a little slow. The writing really isn't my style, but I am really intrigued to see where this goes, and I want to know more. I want to know why all of this is happening, so it's really compelling me to try and read further. I think I really will grow to enjoy this book once I get down into it, kind of figure out these mysteries that are going on behind Camelot and why she's there, who she is, why she needed to pose as Guinevere, and so I'm really excited to see where this goes. Last but not least, we have Stickers Galore, which is a manga or graphic novel, and I don't actually have a copy with me right now, but it is Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell. I know this was a very popular read back in the fall time. I really don't know what it's about. I'm pretty sure it's like a cutesy little love story, which I think is gonna be super refreshing. And if it's cheesy, the cheesier the better, because I'm in the mood for like a really cheesy, like quick read. I think it's gonna be really sweet, really cute. That's what I love about Rainbow Rowell's writing. Like Fangirl was one of my favorite books back in high school. I loved Eleanor and Park. And so I'm really excited to see what this is about, to get to know these characters, because it is a graphic novel. I know it'll be fairly quick to get through, so I can probably read it in one sitting, but I'm really excited. All right, and there you have it, guys. That is my January TBR for the VSCO Girls Readathon. If you want to know more about the Readathon, I will link one of the announcement videos down below from one of the booktubers that are running it. Again, if you would like a buddy read for the Puka Shell necklace, we are reading Guinevere Deception, so just send me a tweet. My Twitter is down below also, and we'll get you into our group to read. It's a lot of fun. I'm really excited. I think this readathon just sounds so fun. If you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up and comment down below what book you are most excited to read in January, or what your favorite one of the prompts here is. I really want to know. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already by clicking that button down below and hitting that bell icon to be notified every time I post a new video, because I do upload every Monday and every Thursday on this channel. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.